Hey, hello. You're starting to try with Wolf Gorlick. A few minutes riffing on IT and IT security. Today, looking at insurance, cyber insurance, and a new way that has been invoked to not pay out. You know, I've covered cyber insurance in these videos before. Different things that they look at to make sure that a claim is valid, and of course, one of the main ones being due diligence. Did you secure your environment? Align to a framework? Put the right controls in place? Make sure those controls are valid? Those types of things. And if you didn't, they're like, well, don't know if we can help you. But the most recent one that I just heard about has to do with cyber war. So the tip for you is this. Check your insurance policy to see what loopholes exist around acts of war. You wouldn't think this would be something that would be invoked. I mean, cyber war is something you say on Twitter, and people usually laugh about it. But as reported in the New York Times, when NotPetya hit, NotPetya, of course, caused all sorts of damage, multiple companies down. This was the ransomware attack that spread like a worm, that took many organizations off the net in a very fast-moving way. And when it hit, one of the things was reported to be, the act of a nation-state actor. And because of that, some interpretations have been that means it's an act of war. And under some forms of insurance, that means as an act of war, the insurance provider doesn't have to pay out. New York Times reported about this, and the insurance provider in this particular case was Zurich. It's now going to court. There's going to be lots of back and forth and lawsuits about this. But it does raise a very interesting point. Heretofore, we've been looking mostly at cybersecurity insurance as a way to close breaches. But what happens when those breaches reach the level that they qualify as a nation-state act, right? What happens when those breaches or damages that your organization faces hits a threshold where they can say, oh, that was this country, that country, that was this rogue folks, and therefore it was an act of cyber war, and therefore the damage cost is, resulting from said war, and therefore we don't need to pay. I hope there won't be too many times and too many instances where we have to look at this and wonder if that's the case. But if you do have cyber insurance or you're getting it, it's well worth talking to your insurance provider to see if what's happened and what's been reported in the New York Times with Zurich would apply to you. What about you guys? Do you see this as a big concern? Have you asked these questions and gotten unique answers? Hit me up in comments or social media. Cheers.